Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Urban Update. I'm Byron Barnett. On the show this morning, ever wonder how many people could be fed with all the food that is thrown out and wasted? Well, today we'll introduce you to an organization that is doing something about it. Also on the show this morning, an author and lecturer at Harvard University, professor. He explains why he believes lobbyists can actually be good for democracy. But up first, Hubweek, the week-long series of events taking place all throughout Greater Boston, is underway. This first-of-its-kind collaboration will showcase the world-changing work, art, and thinking being imagined here through a series of events on sidewalks, in restaurants, and research labs, and lecture halls, and at venues in Roxbury to the Seaport and the Innovation District, and campuses of the MIT, Harvard, and MGH. One major event that will take place during this week is the U.S. Conference of Mayors Town Hall, hosted by Mayor Setti Warren of Newton. Now, this town hall discussion at Roxbury Community College will feature mayors from across the country discussing what is being done to provide pathways to strengthen the middle class and beyond. To tell us more about the excitement around Hubweek, we've invited Mayor Setti Warren to the show this morning. Also with us today, Bridgette Wallace, founder of Skylab, a local company whose vision is to generate an innovation-based economic and cultural renaissance in Roxbury. Welcome to Urban Update. Thanks for coming in, both of you. Mayor, if I could start out with you, Mayor Setti Warren, in your second term as Mayor of Newton?
Yes.
All right, great. First of all, about the Hubweek, just give us your perspective on this whole concept of what Hubweek is.
Well, I think it's a phenomenal concept that Linda Pizzuti Henry came up with, which is really to promote the greater Boston area. And Massachusetts is a hub of innovation, education, really a world-class leader when it comes to intellect and new thinking. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it. I'm thrilled that the U.S. Conference of Mayors and my colleagues from mayors around the country are going to be in Boston to really promote new thinking and policies to increase economic mobility in our cities.
Okay. Now, Bridgette Wallace, talk to me about Skylab. How you're head of Skylab here. How do you see Skylab's mission fitting in with Hubweek?
Sure. Well, Hubweek, again, is about collaboration. It's about sharing of information. It's about bringing people together. And part of the mission of Skylab is to work with or around entrepreneurship and to connect a community like Roxbury to the greater community of Boston, and how we bring resources and people together so that people can explore the possibilities of becoming an entrepreneur.
Okay. Mayor Warren, can you sort of give us a sense of some of the specific topics that are going to be discussed at your event here, and why do you think this discussion is so important at this time?
Well, I think, and I know chief executives across the country believe that the question of economic mobility and income inequality is the issue of our time. We know from a data standpoint that wages are not rising as they did many years ago. We also know that technology, globalization has changed our economy. We have to partner with the private sector and nonprofit sector and government sector to come together, and this is what we've done, is put together a policy framework to grow the economy appropriately and offer access to people of all backgrounds into the new economy. So we have the Mayor of Louisville, Mayor of Fresno, Mayor of Providence, and others who will join us at Roxbury Community College to not only discuss this issue, but put forth specific ways we can invest in people, infrastructure, and entrepreneurship, and promote the idea that all of us of all different backgrounds can earn an income to be self-sufficient and go on beyond the middle class.
It's interesting that you're trying to collaborate and do something about this, tackle this issue on a mayoral level. I mean, most people think of, we're in the middle of a presidential campaign. You know, this is something that the presidential candidates are supposed to be talking about, growing the economy, getting incomes up and so forth. But you're attacking this from the standpoint of mayors.
You know, mayors and cities are I think, leaders in innovation, coming up with solutions to some of the most difficult problems. And I worked in conjunction with the Brookings Institution and Boston College Center for Research to put together this policy framework. And I have to tell you, when you look around Boston, also the greater Boston area, in my own city, Bridgette is an example. The Roxbury Innovation Center is a specific example of how we can grow the economy through entrepreneurship, but then also offer access to people within that community. I commend Mayor Walsh for really embracing the idea that a city can, in fact, promote economic growth. We're doing it in my own city. We've got Mass Challenge and CIC together in our city. We use the public asset to do it. We're going to make sure kids in our underserved areas have a chance to have exposure so that they can be a part of this new economic growth.
Now, Bridgette, are you hoping that this event is going to shed more positive light on the potential that neighborhoods like Roxbury have?
Absolutely. So Skylab, as the designated programmer for the Bruce C. Bowling Building and operating in partnership with Venture Cafe with RIC, we're certainly hoping that the connections that or the conversations that come out of the discussions that take place during Hubweek will certainly be able to be transferable to the folks that are in Roxbury, so that people can take that information and use that information to explore possibilities around career opportunities. If they're interested in starting a business, how do you network? How do you begin to make these connections that you need so that you can look at your career and your career path and opportunities in a different light?
Are you trying to do or trying to replicate what's been done like in Cambridge with the sort of startup businesses and so forth, and the Seaport area? Are you trying to replicate some of that in Roxbury? Is that what you're attempting to do?
We are attempting to do that, but we do want it to be community specific. So looking at the demographics of Roxbury, we understand that there's double-digit unemployment. But on the other hand, we also understand and we also know that there's a wealth of talent there. There are people already there that have businesses, and we want to help those businesses to go to scale. So we know that in Roxbury there's great talent, and we just want to expand that tent of opportunity for the folks in Roxbury.
Now, Mayor Warren, you've got another event that you're partnering with Get Connected. That's a accumulation of event at the Bruce Bowling Building in Dudley Square on the 8th of October. Just briefly, can you tell us a little about that?
So that's part of our two-day convening. It's the end celebration and really opportunity at the Roxbury Innovation Center to bring the business community together, the nonprofit community together, leaders in civic life, so that we can not only get to know each other, but really talk about what we can do together to promote economic mobility. And Colette Phillips has done a brilliant job in bringing together these Get Connected events. That's the purpose, to really offer access for people of different means, people with wealth and capital and business community, but also those who are trying to gain access to grow their businesses. And she's done a great job. We're partnering with her and Opportunity Nation to put together this event on the 8th in the evening from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Bruce Bowling Building.
And Bridgette, give me a little of your, I guess, your pitch that you're going to be using to promote the cultural renaissance in Roxbury.
Sure. Roxbury is the geographical heart of Boston, right? So there's a lot going on in Roxbury. There is also a lot of cultural events that take place in Roxbury. There's a lot of talent that is born and bred out of Roxbury. And so we want people to come to Roxbury. Roxbury is open for business, and we want to really work with the people that are there, but we also want to open up Roxbury for newcomers as well.
Mayor Warren, how important is it for you to show, I guess, some of these mayors coming into town, which is a pretty big deal to have all these mayors here, really how diverse Boston has become?
You know, it's extraordinary over the last 30 or 40 years how Boston has changed. People of color are not only here, but they're involved with civic life and business. I think it's a fabulous thing for this region, for mayors around the country, as well as other civic leaders, to see the best of Boston, and the fact that we're leading on issues like economic mobility, access to the new innovation economy, and economic growth.
Okay, all right, and we'll leave it right there. Mayor Setti Warren of Newton. You're not the chairman of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, but you're chairing
Community Development and Housing for the U.S.
Community
Conference
Development and
of Mayors.
Housing. Okay, good luck with that. And Bridgette Wallace, thanks for coming in, and good luck in promoting
Thank you.
Roxbury. Okay, well, when we come back, the role of lobbyists and the influence that money has on elections and how it can be a good thing for democracy. The details coming up right here in Urban Update.